Hi, welcome to Me and You Time. Since Jonah Marbles is gone, who else are you gonna watch? Today, we're gonna dye my hair while I tell you the story of when a marmot was stuck in my car for a little bit last summer. So I've dyed my hair red, I have dyed it orange, and now I want to get this orange out so I can dye it yellow, then green, then blue, then purple, then pink. So I'm going to go all colors of the rainbow when I have my split dye with black on this side and color on this side. So next up is yellow. I haven't been experiencing some breakage here, so I need to be careful around that area. I just decided to use a 40 volume on this band here that has the color stuck, and maybe throughout this section here that's a little gray from the black dye getting into it. And then I will just maybe do a bleach bath after that with a 20 volume, and just to get it very platinum and blank canvasy for my next color. The roots I will be using 40 volume as well. And after I bleach, I will tone and then use a conditioning treatment to soften my hair back up and give it some life again. Let's get started. My story begins last summer, Father's Day, June something. There's already hair in here. Ew, get out. Ew, there's a lot of hair in here. Also, I'm using Salon Care Blue Flash powder. Sally Beauty, of course. Still hair in here. So Father's Day last year, my parents have land up in the mountains in Colorado, and I was living in Denver and going to an internship in Castle Rock, which is it was about 40 minutes from my house, drive every morning south. And one weekend I went up to visit them, my parents and our property. We didn't have a house up there at that time, so we were just camping. And I brought my car all the way up. It's about 9,000 feet up, very high elevation. There are these critters that live up at that elevation. They're called marmots. If you've never seen a marmot, here's what one looks like. And they are gopher-like, beaver-like. They don't have big tails though, and they're about this big. And they climb on rocks, and you can see them all over the place up there. I can't talk and do things. I've already separated my hair poorly. So I had parked my car up at our campsite, and then my little dog, Muffy, was chasing an animal. She likes to chase around chipmunks and squirrels and stuff. But that day it was a little bit bigger. It was a marmot. It was a marmot. I didn't see her actually chase it all the way, but because I think I was riding around on a four-wheeler or something. I heard the commotion from down the road where I was, and they were screaming like, Maddie, get over here. And I'm like, oh my God, what's happening? So I get over there, and my brother and my dad are looking around. Here's the section I cut of my hair. It's growing out. If you don't remember this, you can watch one of my earlier videos when I talk about how I cut my hair off accidentally. Oops. They're like, Maddie. I'm like, what? Muffy chased a marmot in your car. I'm like, oh my God, are you serious? They're looking around the underside of the car because my dog chased it underneath the front of the car into the area where the engine is. So they were trying to look for it and see if they could see it. My dad opened up the hood of my car and he could see it in there. It was sitting right on top, but it wouldn't get scared and run away. It was scared, but it would just stay in there. And we had to put my dog inside because she was going crazy. And then we were just trying to do everything. We're honking the car, and my dad got his big grill glove on and stuck his hand down in there to try to flush it out. That didn't work. He tried to build a little wire thing on a poke sticker wire, and stuck that down in there to try to poke it out. That might have hurt it, maybe. That was not the nicest thing, but I had to go. I was getting ready to go back down to Denver that night in a few hours, and I didn't know what to do, like driving around with a marmot stuck in my car. That didn't seem fun for me or the marmot. And oh my gosh, it made this crazy noise. It would just beep. That's exactly what it sounded like. It just beep. It would go very loud. We decided to leave the car alone. We went on a drive up in one of our ATVs, and we came back and looked in the car. We didn't see it, but then we let my dog out and she went over there and inspected, and then we hear the, people will call them whistle pigs apparently. I wish I could do it without gloves. I feel like the gloves, they just don't let me be accurate in like the hair that I pull out, and it just hurts. Maybe I'll just do it without gloves. I'll try it. It's just, oh, it's so much easier. I said to my boyfriend, sorry my hair's so dirty, and he's like, what are you talking about? I was like, are you kidding? Okay, here we go. I'm just gonna try to do the shaft first and not the roots yet. Try to get the color out mostly. So, where was I? Whistle pigs. That's right. So we discovered the Marmot is still in my car. So we decide to drive my car around a little bit just to see if it'll like fall out or hop out on its own if the car is moving. Cause I had to go back to Denver, so I was just about to leave. So we drove my car around, we could hear it beeping. We took my car back to the campground. I packed up my stuff, I put it in, and started driving down the mountain. I was like, this is just gonna be how it is. So then I get down the mountain, almost into town, and the Marmot stopped beeping. We don't hear it anymore. Pull over and get out, just to look under the hood again to see if we could see it. And it wasn't there, so I was like, chill, all right. It jumped out while I was driving down the mountain, and it's gonna still live in its mountains, and it's gonna be great. Happy ending. So I drive the hour and a half back to Denver, back to my house, proceed to go to my internship in Castle Rock for the next 3 days. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I would drive back and forth, 40 minutes each way, all 3 days. Then, on Thursday, I pull out of the garage. I see something on the garage floor. And it's kind of like small and round and squirmy. I get out. It's like a naked mole rat looking thing, and I'm like, what the hell is that? I was like running late already, and my brother was asleep in the room right next to the garage, so I opened up the door. I was like, Mitch, get in here. You need to help this thing. I don't know what it is. It's like it's some sort of rodent, and this bleach is toxic. He's like, what the heck? Okay, I'm coming. So he and my roommate get a box, and they put the rodent in it, and then on my way to work, I'm thinking, what the hell was that? I think, what if the Marmot is still in my car? What if she gave birth? I was freaking out all the way there. I hadn't heard any beeping. So I was like, I don't know, man, maybe she's like living in the garage, just giving birth now. Cool, that's great. I got a splinter yesterday, and the bleach is getting in my splinter hole. So I get to work, I look under the hood. I'm on the phone with my parents, I think, and I look under the hood and I just scream because there she is sitting right on top of my engine, the Marmot. My supervisor happened to be walking by right as that happened, and I lament to him. I'm like almost crying because I have no idea what to do, and I feel so bad that I separated her and her like tiny little baby. My other supervisor comes out, like the boss of the company, and she's like, oh, I have AAA, let me call them and see what they can do. I'm like, okay. She called AAA, they couldn't do anything. They said that's not in their area of expertise and I should call animal control. And then my supervisor said that she has friends who are trappers and they probably have a trap that I can have or borrow. And she's like, just go home, go get her back to her babies. And so I did, I went back home. I called her friend and he said he could stop by with the trapping cage. So if you've never seen one of those, they're big cages that are like this. They've got a handle on top and a little door that flicks down, and then a little plate on the bottom that if the plate gets pressed on, the door snaps shut and captures the animal inside. So it's not like a killing trap, it's just a capture trap. So we borrowed that. Actually, I think for some reason we couldn't get his, and my brother ended up getting one from one of our friends in our hometown. So we had that. And then the other guy came by and gave me some tips after we had already had the cage for a minute and it hadn't been working. We put lettuce in the trap to try to lure her in there, carrots, vegetables, and then the guy gave us the tip that maybe she likes sweet things, so we put apples in there, and that seemed to work better because we could tell she was going in there and eating the apples, but the plate wouldn't close and the door wouldn't close because we had a big blanket over top to make it seem more inviting, like a cave. So the blanket kept getting caught in the trap as the door was shutting. So we had almost caught her several times and it just wouldn't work. We did try to put antifreeze in there. I feel bad saying that. I'm sorry. Along the way, we had found 3 other babies. Another one plopped out from underneath my car. And then she hid a couple other ones around my garage in different places. One was just rolling around like underneath my storage bins. So we put the babies inside the cage to try to get her to go in. And that didn't work either. And unfortunately, the babies died. It was horrible. I tried to keep them alive. I went to Petco and I went to I bought a little feeder for them, like a little bottle, and I tried to get them like goat's milk or some formula, and it didn't work, and I felt horrible because, I don't know, it's just such a horrible story. Eventually, I think maybe it was probably 5 days later after we discovered she was there. I kept driving to my internship if she was in there or not. I'm not actually sure the whole time, but I still went to work and I was like, hopefully she's not in here burning up. I don't know how she survived. I don't know if she liked it in there. Eventually, we captured her in the trap. It was a glorious day in the household. We had planned to just drive her up to, not all the way back up to the mountains because we didn't have time to go up there really. So we were going to drop her off at a place kind of near the entrance of the mountains, but then we found this wildlife refuge that was only 20 minutes from our house. Oh yeah, so I had called animal control, animal services, everyone, Parks and Wildlife, and nobody helped me. Nobody. They said that was out of their jurisdiction and the only thing that they could recommend was to get a trap and trap it myself, and then if I wanted, I could take it to them. And I'm like, well, I don't need to do that really. Although maybe I should have. But that's how I learned they were called whistle pigs. Some guy on the phone told me that. And he's like, yeah, they should be fine in lower elevations. They prefer higher elevations, like where it came from, you know, but we have them around in Denver and they survive and everything. I'm like, okay. So we found this wildlife refuge area that was 20 minutes from our house, and we put her in the back of the car. She's beeping along the way, and we let her go into this wildlife area, sanctuary refuge. We say goodbye to Whistle Pig, and she didn't bother us again. Sadly, yeah, it's just, I feel so bad for the little babies. That's a horrible situation. She probably gave like a premature stress birth. Like, I can't imagine, that poor girl. But anyway, the story's not over. My roommate's girlfriend was visiting him from afar, and they had gone back. This was a couple weeks later, and they decided to go to the wildlife refuge where we dropped off Miss Marmot. They were looking at all the wildlife. What were they looking at? A bird. I think they're looking at a big bird eating a dead animal. And my roommate looks through his binoculars, and his girlfriend's like, oh yeah, that's like a prairie dog. And you can guess that it was a marmot. And I assume that it was the marmot we said, because she just had a horrible life. So that is the end of the story. It's a tragic story. It's so bad. I feel so bad. I wish I had more patience back then in the situation. I wish I could have done something more to help it, but she didn't help her babies, and I feel like, I mean, I know it was she gave birth in a terrible place, but she didn't do anything for them, so I don't know if I could have done anything about that, but ugh. It was a mess. So I've done the shaft part of my hair. Now I'm gonna go back and do the roots. Still have a lot of bleach left. Maybe I'll just do one glove. Cover the hand that has cat scratches and splinter holes.
We touch, we break, make it seem like we feel the same. We love what we hate. We lie, but we know we can't water what doesn't grow. Give up.
Yeah, it's gonna be a mess.
But we fell apart just in time. You say at least it was worth a try. At least it was worth a try. At least it was worth a try. I drive from your place, miss your lips, but I hate the taste. No fun in this game. I will call our bluff, 'cause using bodies isn't good enough. Slow down, this ain't love. Well, we fell apart just in time. Ooh, you say at least it was worth a try. At least
Now I'm gonna mix some conditioner and what's left of this.
At least it was worth a try. We keep playing games, can't go separate ways. Break up all the same. We keep playing games, can't go separate ways. Break up all the same. Well, we fell apart just in time. Ooh, you say at least it was worth a try.
I'm super afraid the orange is still gonna be in there. Yeah, 10 minutes. All right, so that didn't work at all. I mean, I got my roots, and I don't think I need those much lighter to dye my hair. I'm dyeing it Arctic Fox Neon Moon, which is it's kind of green based yellow, which I'm super excited for. This is still orange. I feel like it made everything more orange. Like, I don't know if I should bleach it again or tone it or just put dye on it. Also, there's this piece that's like half black, half blonde. Oh, I don't want to bleach it again. I decided to bleach it again, so I blow dried it. Yeah, when in doubt, bleach it out, people. Bleach it out. I'm gonna do a restorative treatment after. It's gonna be fine. This is fine. This is fine. I want to be a snow queen. So we bleached again. We'll be fine. I'm only gonna leave it on 20 minutes probably. All right, we still orange a little bit, but I'm not gonna worry about it. I think it'll be fine being covered up with dye. So now I'm gonna use my leftover ion repair kit that I used last time. So it's a 2-step process. The first step is like this crazy gel stuff. You comb through your hair and then blow dry and let it harden on your hair and then rinse it out and then do a deep conditioning after. So I'm gonna see what I can salvage out of here. It looks like it all spilled. Last time I used this, it was really awesome. I recommend it. You know, it never turns out the way you want, but it's always something, you know? This is why it's my hobby and I don't do it professionally. This is fine. This is fine. Okay, I'm gonna let it dry and do the deep conditioning. And I'll see you later. It's a new day, but it all feels old. Yeah, it's a new day. My hair's been bleached for 4 days, and now it's time to put on some color. I was lazy and didn't put on color last time. I should have, because the bleach job was not good enough to be wearing out in public. Okay, now we're gonna fix that and have people stare at me for a better reason. And today we're going to be still doing split dye, black on one side, and this side is going to be neon yellow. I will be using Arctic Fox Neon Moon for the yellow side, and I might mix in a little bit of iris green to make it more neon and green based, because deep down I really want to dye this side green. But since I did red and orange, I feel like I should do yellow, and then I can get to the green and then continue on through the whole rainbow. So that's what I'm gonna do. Stay tuned. And for the black side, I have some leftover Ion Color Brilliance semi-permanent in black. Let's get started. I'm gonna start with the yellow. I decided to come outside because the water inside wasn't getting that cold. So I'm gonna use the hose. Hello, welcome back. It's been a few days, sorry. My hair is done. This lighting's really bad. Let's go in the natural lighting. Okay, this is much better, more true to the color. As you can see, I've already done a makeup inspired look to go with it, but I'm so excited about how this turned out. Perfect between yellow and green. It's the ultimate neon yellow highlighter shade and I'm obsessed. As you can see, I have my lava lamp going on back there. That's what inspired me. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. Hope you learned a little something about marmots and come back soon for more hair colors and stuff. Bye.